how is it going, Elder Scrolls Nation? It is Skullzi here with the latest and the greatest Bethesda Game Studios news. The bit of news that we're going to be talking about today is about Starfield and some new evidence that I discovered that basically confirms that Starfield should be launching with VR capabilities. Now, before I go any further, I want to be clear that I am not saying VR will be required in order to play Starfield. It will simply launch VR ready for those who do want to use VR. Now, right away, what does this tell us? If the game is going to launch VR ready, that confirms that Starfield will be a first-person experience, and likely the entire game will be from the first-person perspective, which is the norm for Bethesda Game Studios, but is still pretty interesting to hear and know about, as we haven't had any information from Bethesda about Starfield, how it will play, and how similar it will be to how the Elder Scrolls and Fallout handled. So how do we know that Starfield will launch VR ready? Well, this has to do with Bethesda Game Studios Dallas, previously known as Escalation Studios. Bethesda announced Bethesda Game Studios Dallas recently at QuakeCon 2018. I break that entire situation down in the video that you can watch here. I suggest that you watch that entire video before we go any further here so you can have a better understanding of this situation's pregame. The TLDR, however, is that Escalation Studios was quietly purchased by ZeniMax back in late 2016 and began to help Bethesda Game Studios with several of their projects as early as February of 2017. At QuakeCon, Todd Howard announced Bethesda Game Studios Dallas along with a list of games that BGS Dallas has been working on thus far. Now let's check that list out right here. Skyrim VR, Fallout 4 VR, Fallout Shelter, Fallout 76, Blades, and Starfield. This confirms both that BGS Dallas seems to be the VR studio for Bethesda Game Studios, and at the same time confirms that they have worked on and are probably currently still working on Starfield. So that right there is one piece of evidence, but not the main big piece of evidence in this situation. I did some more digging and found a ye old ancient tweet from VR Focus, which is a pretty interesting name given our conversation here. Let's see what this tweet says. Bethesda utilizes Escalation Studios VR talents. And this tweet was from November 2017 when Escalation was secretly already Bethesda Game Studios Dallas. This tweet is super interesting because it confirms that Escalation is very talented in VR game development and optimization and has a reputation for VR, and that is likely the main reason Bethesda wanted to acquire Escalation Studios in the first place. Todd Howard adds some more to this situation himself when he stated back at QuakeCon that Escalation Studios will allow Bethesda to do even bigger and greater things, meaning Bethesda definitely had a very specific reason in mind when they acquired Escalation Studios, and it's more than obvious that this reason would be related to VR. With all of these powers combined, I am more than confident that at this point we can basically confirm that Starfield will launch VR ready. Before we close this video out though, one last interesting bit of information that is related to this is from a Game Lab interview with Todd Howard. I'll just put this up on screen and let you read this interview yourself and make your own conclusions. And as always, let me know what you think about all of this. What do you think about VR? Do you think it's the future of gaming? Do you even use VR? Let me know in the comments below, and if your comment wins the internet, I may feature it in a future video. Be sure to subscribe if you want to stay in the know about gaming news, and follow me on Twitter for the latest memes and random shit about me. Also, follow me on Twitch, where I stream almost daily, and if you want to have your hand in building future content and defending the channel, then subscribe to the community on Patreon, where you can earn unique and awesome awards. And as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time, when soon, in the future, we can experience all of the memes in VR.
Bye, have a great time.